Hey there, Tiffany here. And yes, I saw the new Strangers movie yesterday, Strangers Chapter 2. And I did not hate it. So, because I know there is a lot of reviews on it right now that where people really are not liking it at all. And I don't know, when I go to see a movie, I do try not to watch reviews just because I don't want to go in with like any type of bias or anything like that. But I did not hate it. I actually, and then, like I said in my little mini review yesterday, there were times when I was kind of on the edge of my seat, and I'll talk about that here in a little bit. But yeah, but the movie it picks up where the Strangers Chapter 1 left off, and we see the character Maya in the hospital, and she's recovering. From the injuries and a lot of the trauma that she sustained with the events in Strangers Chapter 1. And basically, from the start, it's like this it's like basically a chase movie from the start, where the first film was very much a slow burn and maybe a little bit too much of a slow burn because I was actually Strangers Chapter 1 actually did not really sell me. I did not see it in the theaters. Chapter 1, I mean, I did not see it in the theaters. I actually ended up streaming it. And in the middle of it, I actually ended up just kind of going around and like doing some other stuff and like cleaning and just working on other things with it in the background. And I didn't really feel like I missed much. So I wasn't really a fan of the first one. I thought that, like I said, and I do like a slow burn plot where it's like kind of working up to the events and then it's like there's that tension. Um, but it was like, but I felt that the first Strangers was like all slow burn and really no tension. And then all of a sudden, like, boom, at the end, everything happens. So I was glad that I was kind of okay, good, like they're doing kind of a trilogy. They're doing like a second film, and okay, maybe it'll get better. Maybe they'll improve on some things, maybe they'll expand on some things that that you were looking at like the first movie and just kind of being like, because and I do like to give things a chance. So yeah, so I did think that this movie, Strangers Chapter 2, was definitely an improvement over Strangers Chapter 1. Absolutely. And I thought the actress that played Maya, I thought she did a really good job. And I think, she definitely carried a lot of the film. And she carried the film pretty well, I will say. And it was very interesting just kind of just seeing her react to people around her, to just her surroundings, especially like after everything, after what happened to her and her boyfriend or fiance, as because I think, yeah, they did get engaged at the end of Strangers Chapter 1 before, spoiler alert, before he, didn't make it. But but it was very interesting to see her, how that affected her, how those events in the first film affected her. And like I said, I thought the actress did a really good job. Um, and it is a chase. Like I said, it's a chase film basically all throughout. You basically go from 0 to 100 right off the bat. There's no build up. There's really no kind of like, okay, a little bit of a build up and kind of like a slow burn, then a build up, then a slow burn. And there is a sweet spot to doing that. And like I said, that was like my biggest criticism of Strangers Chapter 1, was that it was just complete flat line, all slow burn, no tension, and then boom, all of a sudden, things happen toward the end. Um, but this was kind of like a different. It was the Chapter 2 was a different change of pace, definitely, because just because of that. and which I found, I was like, okay, yeah, cool. So they're doing something different than they did with Strangers Chapter 1, because, if they tried to do the same thing that they did with Strangers Chapter 1, yeah, it would not have been good. Um, and another thing, one thing that really kind of had me on the edge of my seat, like, okay, what's going on here? What's happening? Was exploring the stories behind the killers and that backstory, because I do enjoy a good, kind of bad guy backstory. I kind of, it's always interesting to me, like seeing, okay, what triggers them, why did they become the way they are, and and I and that was like what kind of like that also is what held my interest in this film, in Strangers Chapter 2. And they seem to be like taking some pretty interesting twists with this backstory. And I don't know, because they are going to be doing a trilogy, so I guess we'll have to see like where it goes, if it kind of goes to this really cool interesting place, or if it fizzles out. You know I yeah, like I think that I like that. I like the fact that they are exploring that, instead of just making the killers just, these random people. And I know one of the one of the driving messages in this film, and they do talk about it they do mention it at the beginning, is about how a lot of people are, unalived, abducted, whatever, by complete strangers, and they are chosen at random. And again, I think that there is an interest, a good way to do this. There's kind of like a sweet spot to do this in a film. Um, and the thing with Strangers Chapter 1, it was like it started out as this very interesting, it kind of did have an interesting premise to it. I do tend to enjoy films that take place in the middle of nowhere, and you have these like mysterious figures in the background, and you don't know what they're about. So the first one kind of had an interesting premise, but again, it just fell flat, I think, just because it was just kind of like just this flat, too much of a slow burn, and then not much of a build up. It was so whereas Strangers 2 is like the complete opposite. um so I did enjoy it. I'm not in the camp of people who totally hated it. I did it, like, I thought that it had some really interesting plot twists. I thought that their choice to turn it into a complete chase movie, and really change up the pace from the first film was an interesting choice. It might not work for a lot of people, but I just see that I went in this just accepting the movie for what it is. And I did kind of hope that it would be, a step up, at least a couple of steps up from the first film, which, to me it was. And I will see the third one just to kind of see where everything goes. I mean, is it the best movie I've ever seen? No, but I do, but kind of like when I saw, the new I Know What You Did last summer. Was it the best movie I ever saw? No, but was it fun? Was it a fun movie? Especially for nostalgic purposes, absolutely. And and I do think that The Strangers Chapter 2, it's kind of like it's kind of a fun chase movie, is what I would call it. And and I was very interested in the backstories of of the masked killers. Like, why are they doing it? What made them want to do it? Is there just one big, like, because it is a town that's in the middle of nowhere, and so are we talking like a town-wide cult or something like that, or are we talking about maybe something completely different? So those things did hold my interest. And yeah, but those are my thoughts on The Strangers, chapter 2. And yeah, I definitely I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on it, and and whether you liked it, you hated it, whether you're just kind of meh, kind of in the middle, and whether you're interested in seeing Strangers Chapter 3. Yeah, but I'm definitely interested in hearing your thoughts. And yeah, tomorrow it's my 31 days of Halloween, and we're kicking it off. This is kind of like, I guess, like a little bit of a warm up to the 31 days of Halloween. And yeah, so be sure to watch for a new video every day, because I'm uploading every single day in the month of October. So be sure to watch for that. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this. And again, I am interested in hearing your thoughts on Strangers Chapter 2, whether you liked it, didn't like it, whatever. Because sometimes these conversations can be pretty interesting, discussing cinematic art, if you will. But all right, but yes, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. All right, take care, bye, and happy Halloween.